Alrighty, guys. So day 4,833 of Bitcoin, still sitting around $70,000. No, joking, guys. We do have Bitcoin sitting at 71,000. We do have the majority of the altcoin market all sitting at retest zones. So we don't really have much movement at the moment. However, we are holding very important support. So I want to show you this over here. You look at something like ETH. Breakout, holding off supports, right? You look at something like Injective, breakout, bouncing on support right now. You look at things like Chainlink, coming down to major support zones. Things like 𝗕𝗚𝗚𝗕𝗓, bouncing on support at the moment. Things like DOT, things like 𝗕𝗘𝗣𝗢, all of these tokens are showing us that they are currently in very good buy zones and load up zones as well. And again, what I'm going to do today is show you guys the major zones of when is this squeeze going to happen within Bitcoin. And we do have to start preparing our minds for that $80,000 to $90,000 range. What does that mean for Ethereum? And what does that mean for the rest of the market? Plus, we now know that the ETH ETF is coming. Now, it may take a couple of weeks, may take a couple of days, it may come at any single moment. Nonetheless, we are going into phase 2 of the cycle. Phase 2 is Ethereum. Then what you have after that is you have major cap and small cap altcoins that pump. So in the show today, I'm going to show you guys coins that are going to outperform Ethereum. Because if you start changing your brain and understanding that we're in the cycle of Bitcoin's had the major rally the last couple of months, now Ethereum's waking up, and then you're looking at altcoins to wake up next, we need to look at what altcoins are going to outperform Ethereum. Because if you have an Ethereum that's rallying to the upside, look incredibly strong, I want to show you a few tricks of how to see what's going to outperform Ethereum. And again, if you're in altcoins that are going to outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum, not only are you making a lot more money because Ethereum and Bitcoin will be going up, you'll also be making Bitcoin and Ethereum. And remember, the whole goal of this entire bull cycle is to make more Bitcoin, to make more Ethereum. And these are the coins you're going to be selling into later on when it is time to take profits. You're not getting out of the market. However, you are taking profits into them. So guys, smash the like button. Again, I'm about to travel back home. It's been a crazy couple of days, been very exhausting, but I promise you one thing. I will bring you energy every single day. So you do me a favor, you smash the like button, and let's have a fantastic show. No more wasting time. Let me find my button. Hold on. It's been a long week, guys. It's been a long week. Hold on. Let's go. Alrighty, guys, happy Thursday to you all. Remember, you have to obliterate that like button because yesterday we got over 5,000 likes. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about let's make this the fun and the best show in the entire world. Interact, be part of the community, bring vibes. The more vibes you bring, the more vibes I bring. If you're brand new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoy the content, and let's jump into it. I want to see what's up. I want to see what's happening. Love your show, bro. Thank you so much. Thursday hype. Yes, like. Let's go. We got Germany. Nice. What's up, Jeff? When whiskey? No, guys, let's stop this stuff now, okay? I struggled the whole of yesterday. It was amazing. I downed that whiskey. It made me feel fantastic. And then I had to do 2 shows after that. And it wasn't easy. Okay, so we'll do that, but let's maybe do that once a week. Okay, once a week, guys. We can do that. I do have this one here, by the way. I'm just very contemplating. I got a flight. I got all of these things. So this one is sitting here, nice and cold. Sitting good here, but we don't want to turn Sheldon into alcoholic. So let's keep it to once a week. I'll drink whiskey for you guys over here. So that was good. Your energy is goddamn contagious, bro. That's the goal. I share the energy. You share the energy together. We kick ass. The main thing, guys, again, is to keep positive, keep dreaming big, and keep having a plan for when your dreams come true. That's the main thing. Don't cut your brains. Don't cut your thoughts. It is going to happen. We will have some sort of alt season. We will have some sort of bull market. I need you to believe it. I need you to be excited about it and really think about what does your life become when that happens. One thing, and I want to just start off with this quickly, one thing that made a big difference for me, and I want you guys to think about this, is when you're making money within the market, it's fantastic, but you do go through this 2-3 years of a drought that comes after it, right? So you have a crazy couple of months, then you have a drought. So obviously holding a lot of bags and stuff, becomes extremely stressful. It becomes quite annoying and things like that. However, what I realized in the bull was, remember in the beginning of Banta, I didn't make much money at all. We didn't have sponsors on shows. I didn't have any links. I didn't have any of these sort of things. So I made money on my portfolio. And then what happened is when the bears started coming through, you're not really getting too much within the market. So I started to create $1 or $2 generating sort of, but something that brings in fresh dollars every month. And the reason why I'm saying this, guys, is because I need you to keep focus of making money. So as you start making money to the upside now, what are you going to start diversifying with that money to make you dollars? So when the bear market comes, you actually have dollars. Now, why I'm saying it's so important is because if you know that you're going to have some sort of dollars coming in a bear market, right? You're not going to be afraid to take profits this bull market because you know you're going to be okay if the market goes in a 2-year down cycle, that you can buy. So I'm just saying this again, have some sort of planning behind your thoughts that if this bull market goes and where it goes to the point, what can I do with that money to diversify slightly to bring me in some sort of dollars later on? So in the bear, you can take profits with ease this cycle. You have proper targets of where you're taking them, but you also got a bit of a plan for the bear market. So just trust me here, guys. Just start thinking about these things because it comes quickly and you need to be able to have a plan. You don't want to fumble the ball when that happens. Okay, let's go. Tino, what's up? Okay, guys, let's get straight into Wonder Woman naughty in the corner. Yes, Wonder Woman was very naughty and in the corner. Okay, guys, let's jump into it and let's get going. So I want to remind you guys again, 3 hours left, BitGate competition starts. So go below in the description, open up a BitGate account. If you want me to show you, I can show you exactly where it is. So if you click below my videos, you click over here, you go down, and you'll see BitGet. There we go. So open up an account if you don't have one with the link below and join my team. I think we're the biggest team. I think we're on 320, rounds on 260. Sniper team coming in hot, really good. But nonetheless, guys, remember, this is trading money. This is not life savings. This is not going to make you super rich. This is rating yourself against yourself. Putting yourself into somewhere where you need to set a target. There's a time pressure on this. And this helps because if you can get this right, it's not about winning. It's about understanding that if you can get this right, if there's any situation in the future where you need to make money for food or whatever it is later on, you know how to work a little bit under pressure. Okay, so it's a great way to rate yourself, be a part of it. But again, guys, I don't want you putting serious money in here. I don't want you to put money in there and take it too seriously and things like that. I just want it to be a part of the fun and part of what we're doing. So if you're happy with that, go for it. Thank you so much. You're part of my team. I appreciate that very much. I think you got a couple hours left to be part of the team and then it's closed, guys. So just remember that. Okay. Let's jump into a couple of things. So market's a little bit boring. It's a little bit sitting flat. So I'm going to go through a couple of coins, a little bit of the thoughts of the day. If there's a little pullback or obviously we start to push through. And then I also want to show you a few tricks that you need to start preparing for your altcoin bags. Something that's going to give you a little bit of indication that it's worth being in this altcoin. Otherwise, to be honest, buy Ethereum. If you're going to buy altcoins now that Ethereum's going to beat, just buy Ethereum. Okay, why are you wasting your time? However, if you got confirmation and you got a couple of things that are saying that this altcoin is definitely going to outperform Ethereum, then it's worth being in that altcoin. That's the big way you got to play this, because I realized this, that I could have actually held a lot of tokens. I actually could have held Bitcoin over a lot of tokens and I would have made the same amount of money in the last couple of months, right? Because it was Bitcoin season. And now it's ETH season, and then it's the alt season basically after that. So I'm going to show you a whole bunch of those tricks. So if we look over here, Bitcoin's still halting close to all-time highs, sitting pretty flat. We had the decent breakout a few days back, which looks pretty good. We have officially set in our higher high, which is fantastic. There's our previous high over there. So we are definitely trending upwards, and we're definitely getting ready for a proper explosion. Again, it's all about how big Bitcoin wants to go on the next push. So if it decides to go sideways for longer, it means the push is going to be even higher. I do feel, however, that the sidewaysness that we have had all the way coming from March now, I do think we're at the point where we're getting enough strength to get Bitcoin to possibly 100K. This is a long preparation phase over here, and preparation always is what creates the result. You could see over here, the side preparation creates the result. Okay, so side preparation is super important. And again, it's all about how big we're going. So if you're getting annoyed that every time we get to 71, 72, we get rejected, just understand there's a bigger picture play here. This could be something, maybe there is a 300K Bitcoin this cycle. We don't know in that sort of sense. So you got to give it that chance as well and look at the positive side of those things as well. So if we zoom in here, what you're basically looking at for the day is possibly two plays. Okay, the first play that we're looking at is, let's say, the short-term pullback. Short-term pullback, which doesn't look like it wants to do too much, but there is two short-term pullbacks. There's another pullback to 70, and then there is one more that takes us to around 69. I don't see much bigger pullbacks than that right now. I see that anywhere of these levels, if not where we are now, I do see us attempting those highs again. Again, guys, it takes a lot of work to get to the all-time highs or to the major highs. Once you are through the highs, you have enough hype and enough retail and enough excitement around the world that will just take it from there. So the hard work always comes in when retail's not interested. Right now, retail's not interested. It seems like they are, but they're not. They want to come in when everything's 100% more expensive. That's just the mentality of how it basically works in the game. So it does take a little bit of fight, and it does always take a little bit of grind. For example, here was a little resistance. It takes grind, takes time, take your time. When the moment it gets through, it pops. You see, it's called these short squeezes. So again, we are at that phase. So first phase is the two zones of 70K and 69. So not much, right? I'm talking about 3-4%. I still think we're sitting way more bullish than any sort of bearishness at the moment. And my main bearish line is that line over there. Okay, which says, okay, 68, then we can start talking a little bit. Right now, we're still looking incredibly strong, and the bulls are looking way stronger when it comes to the bears. And obviously, bull scenarios, the first one is we create a flag here, so it sits flat a bit, and then it pops. Okay, again, be expected of maybe a little trap, and then continue. Just be aware of that, because leverage will go through the roof. And obviously, the next play is it basically breaks here, pops through, turns this into support, and we go. We're on our way. And remember my targets. I'm sitting at my short-term target at around 84, and the next one is $100,000. I do feel there's enough sideways here to get us to 100K over the next couple of weeks, but we'll monitor and track as we get going. A few other small ones is here we go. This chart still indicates we're going to pump hard today. Okay, and this is the USDT dominance. We lost that trend yesterday, and I told you guys, hey, we might have a few hours of redness, and that's what we did. Not a lot. Not a massive pullback, and that's because of this chart, because we put our first lower low in here on the USDT dominance. Now we're going up, and we've tested this trend. Maybe there's a tiny little bit more to go, okay? But it's indicating that we should test here, and we should explode to the downside. And it's showing that there's a squeeze to the downside here too. You know when you lose that last support on a token, and the next one is all the way down there, and I'll show you where the next one is. The next one's all the way down here. You know, you tend to move very quickly. I call them gaps. You know, I told to acceleration zones. These are things that I like speaking of. So this thing's indicating that, hey, we're still bull, and we're about to return to bull very, very, very quickly. So that's exciting. You know, we basically hit the same low here. The moment we lose this low here, guys, we're going to accelerate very quickly. And what's exciting about it is it looks kind of something like this. Kind of a big move. You know, something that's really, you know, in that strong favor to the downside. And you could see the moment that this chart over here lost this low here on the left is when it really accelerated. And look when it lost the major low. Boom. And that's the same thing we're looking at here. So that's looking really good. And then why I think altcoins are still going to rip hard in the next 48 hours is they're ready to. So if you look here on the altcoin, the total 3 markets, you know, you are seeing the phase of us being back at that major resistance. You know, the major one where we pumped up through it, we broke the flag, now we're there. And the next one for me is really high, guys. So if we look at this, all that we've done recently is we turned a previous resistance into support. And I'm looking at maybe there's another 2% to the downside, maybe 2-3%. However, any moment from here now, I'm seeing the push. I'm seeing the altcoin squeeze, which therefore for me gives me an indication that dominance is going to break to the downside. Now, let's speak about dominance for a second. Let's zoom in here. So we know that dominance is on the biggest trend that we can get, and the trend that can truly finally bring us alt season, right? The original one, the big daddy one, the one we really want. So now you can see that we lost that last week, and we've been creeping up slowly. So what does Sniper do? Sniper comes and zooms in here, right? He zooms in here to see what is happening. Well, when in doubt, zoom out, but when in doubt, also zoom in. when want to snipe, zoom in. But now you zoom in here and you can see it's been fighting. So what I did is I put this little bottom trending, guys. See this little bottom one here on the 8 hour. And what that's going to indicate for us, and you can see we had a fat red candle a few hours back, okay, to the downside. And what we're looking at is if we have that bounce in the market today, and that's what the total 3 is indicating, the dominance is going to come down. And guys, this might be one of the big moves to the downside. So I don't know what it is. Okay, I don't think they were saying that the ETH ETF can take a couple of weeks. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be some possible news or something hype-ish around altcoins in the next 24 to 48 hours. This is just what the chart's saying. Okay, now maybe what it decides to do is break over here and come slowly down here. Then there's not too much news. However, the moment it loses this low here, guys, the dominance is going to form a fat candle to the downside. Okay, and that's when you're going to really see the strong acceleration. And you're seeing that within all charts. You're seeing that within the ETH BTC. Where did it bounce yesterday? Exactly on the support trend line. And if you look here at ETH BTC, this thing's ready for another push to the upside. Great retest, holding really strong. Therefore, if you go through your altcoins now, they're actually respecting supports really strongly. And this is what I'm saying, that we're actually getting so much strength within altcoins building in the background, and you're not even seeing it, you know. And this is the perfect play here. They are bouncing, they are respecting levels. You know what the problem is for the last couple of months? And this is where TA, I wouldn't say struggled a little bit, but it did have a slight struggle, was you had a lot of focus on Bitcoin, right? Therefore, everything, any pairs to any altcoins to Bitcoin, you weren't getting much strength when it came to that. So flags, when it broke a flag, they weren't always holding, they were faking out. When breaking of trends and all of these sort of indicators that would usually work very well were struggling to work. And that's because we never had much focus and liquidity and volume within the altcoins at that time, because all the focus is within Bitcoin. Now what you're starting to see is you're starting to see the strength of altcoins, and they're actually respecting TA again. They're respecting major zones. When you break out, they are retesting. They are bouncing in the strong levels. They are breaking these zones. And we haven't seen that for a long time. And that's when you know the strength is coming back within altcoins, that you are seeing them respect the levels and respect the sort of sense. And this is my favorite part of when it comes to trading the markets. And it comes a lot easier when it does this. And that's just because some focus is back. So things like Injective is still in slight buy zones at the moment. Still looking good. And I'm looking at Injective make its way. Remember, there's two moves that happen here. And I want to paint the picture out here quickly with Injective and bring it back to the Bitcoin dominance and the USDT dominance sort of chart, right? Because what did I just speak when it comes to the Bitcoin dominance? I basically said, hey, let's actually clean up here quickly. Let me show you again quickly. Okay, so when dominance, firstly, it's at the biggest rejection point that it can be. The biggest moment that comes for altcoins is where it's basically at. So now I'm tracking it. Then what you see here is a very important low, okay, a low. And you can see we bounced on that exact low. So the moment you lose a major low, you go down to the next major lows, okay, which is possibly that major low down there. So it's an acceleration point, price area where price is going to speed up. Okay, so now let's put this into context of, let's say, the Injective trade. What I'm seeing here is if we lose this trend today, we can slow bleed down to this area here. Now, firstly, that would be a great day for altcoins, right? So it'll be a great day. Altcoins will move good for the day. And what will happen in that time with Injective is now Injective decides to, okay, let's start moving. Okay, and it moves to this major high here. Now, what I want to explain to you here is not only in the dominant side, you see the acceleration gap, you see it on the altcoins too. Okay, so if I go and I put in this range high, you could see here, Injective's been here twice to 3 times in the last while, and that's where it keeps stopping. Okay, it's called the main resistance. After that, if you look at that, there's a massive gap, a speed up gap. Okay, so if you look at the dominance now, okay, dominance starts breaking today. Altcoins start moving strong to Bitcoin. They start pushing up. Things like Injective from here goes to the main high over here. Okay, then what you get at the point is if it rejects over here, dominance will bounce over here, right? If we drop, let's say let me go back to if we smash through here and we squeeze to the upside, dominance drops here, therefore sends it all down. So do you see what we're doing? The main goal here is to make sure that you have built positions within this. Because by the time the squeeze comes to the downside, you must be in, you must be done, your mind must be made up, and you must be set. But do you see how you can start correlating these things and start understanding them together? That this would maybe be the little bit of a slower phase up. However, that's when the real magic happens. And I want to excite you as well. This is a 4-hour chart. I'm not talking about any entry you're getting now is 4-hour pumps, guys. Yes, I think you can make short-term money. I'm not talking about short-term pumps here. I'm talking about not a 4-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour. I'm talking about weekly pumps here. I'm talking about mega pumps, because if we go here, and I'll clear the chart again quickly for you. If we go here, we're talking about this little push here, right? Let's go talk about the real ones, the real moves. Here is a full resistance into support from Injective. This little move here, yes, we zoomed in to get it, but I'm actually making you zoom in to get that move. The move that takes us up to the real push, the real cycles. Because I'm telling you, if Bitcoin breaks all-time high and that dominance comes down, you need to think a little bit bigger. You need to understand the range of where these things are getting. And again, I'll be showing you guys the tools. The tools are quite easy, okay? And I'm busy building the show for you guys for tomorrow because I'm flying in a couple of hours. So I'm recording a show tomorrow, and I want you to watch that show because it's a portfolio show. And what it's going to show you is we need to start working at some sort of TP strategy. Okay, I believe we are getting the buy zones. I believe we're getting great buy zones for alt season, for the runs, everything. But we do need to have some sort of exit strategy. And for example, here's an exit strategy for me. Here we go. There's it from the bottom. 1618, I'm out 30, 40%. 2618, I'm out 30%. By the 3.618, I'm out 95%, and 5% I leave for the rest. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to go through all the alts that you guys have done on my tweet yesterday. I tweeted out there saying, give me what coins you want me to, and I'm going to give you exit levels on all of them. I'm going to say that for me, as a person understanding this market pretty good, especially now after a couple of years, I'm going to show you a good area of, hey, this is where you should take something off the table, take something off the table, leave some within here, have proper structure behind the trade. So hit the like if you're excited for that. And I'll go through tons of alts for you and give you some sort of exit strategy. Because what that's going to do is it's going to give you a goal and a mission and something to understand what you're going to do. Because someone asked me yesterday, and it was actually one of the guys, and his name's Sai, he's from our team. He's like, Sheldon, he's like, I got Casper, right? I've turned a couple $100 into $20,000, $30,000. When do I sell? What do I do? Because this thing could still 3-5x. This thing could, that's what it's about to do to you. It's about to play this game where you are going to get a couple banger trades. You are going to get a couple things. Now what? Do I just hold this thing? What do I do? I'm going to show you guys it's very important that we have goals and we ladder and we do something with that money. And this is why I said by creating a dollar generating business or something in that sort of sense will give you an idea that, holy shit, I can take profits here and create something that's going to make me some dollars. Or I can take profits here and it's going to do something. The moment you have that behind your back, you're not going to be afraid to take profits and things like that. So I'm excited for that show as well, to give you guys that nice view of the high time frame view. So going back here, everything that we are fighting for here, I'm making sure we are fighting when the RSIs are at the bottom. Look at that, stochastic at the bottom. Therefore, we're fighting on smaller time frames, but we're actually fighting for the higher time frames, if you get what I'm saying. Okay, so Injective's looking good. Things like Chainlink coming to support buys. There's a trend. So a couple coins are breaking and retesting trends. Couple coins are still below trends. So what that indicates for you is the ones that have broken trends and retest, you got to pay attention to now. To those who haven't broken trends yet, you need to put an alarm on here, and you need to be awake or be ready when they do break trend. Okay, so it means basically if your coin is outside of a trend, it's already broken a trend and it's retesting a trend, it means, hey, you got to start getting into this damn thing and putting a stop or whatever, like start preparing to be in because it can go and pop at any moment. Those who are still under trend, you can do two things. You can either dollar cost into that token by 5%, 10%, or you can wait patiently for it to do what it's got to do and make sure your alarm sets and you're in by the time the trend starts to break. So I don't want you to, but just because Chainlink's boring now, don't lose focus in Chainlink. Understand when you're going to have focus for Chainlink again. Otherwise, you're going to miss it and you're going to be pissed off because I don't know if you realize, but Chainlink pumps hard. It does have really strong pushes. So don't lose focus on tokens in that sense. Just know when you're shifting to them or when to pay attention to them and not have to stare at all the charts. Here's things like 𝗕𝗓𝗕𝗓𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 Dot's really strong as well. So for anyone that's starting off the competition today, I think a dot. So if you go here to the short time frame, you'll see there's a couple of trends. I think a dot looks really good. I think a thing like 𝗕𝗘𝗣𝗢 also looks good. If you see 𝗕𝗘𝗣𝗢 is coming to a great fib level, but it's also got a great trend. So if it breaks that trend today, this might be a fun one to be loading up as well. Things like Illuvium, things like Phantom. Let's go into Phantom. Phantom's getting to my big buy zone here. There's the retest on Phantom. So this is also a fun one. Remember, guys, and I quickly want to explain to you guys something about those who are trading the competition. What I'm doing is I'm giving myself more lives. So what I'm thinking of is I'm playing with $1,000, but I'm actually only starting with $100 or $200, and the other 800 is going to sit in my spot. And that's just in case I take 2-3 days of some stoppages and it's been a bit terrible. I can just top up a little bit. Okay, now the goal is not to top up too much. Remember, I've now changed my trading strategy. I trade with less money now and more lives, because the more lives that I have, I can get hit, but eventually I'll catch the bottom and it'll all be back very quickly, something that I can build on top of. So just have that in mind. You don't have to go large. Don't use your main basket in the beginning, because if you get smacked for the first 3 days, you're out of the entire comp. Okay, so for me, it's more lives and loading up and building like that. So just understand that. So again, what that means again is catch coins today that are actually breaking trends, ones that are actually showing strength and things like that. So you can see things like 𝗏𝗡𝗡, still patient. Okay, a nice 𝗕SWIFT pumped yesterday, guys. That's very close to breaking this trend. So remember, 𝗕SWIFT, I think it's at a great area to put a little bit of cash in. And if you bought higher, like I did, I bought a little bit higher in these areas here, which was, I think I bought around $1,000 to $2,000, around 50 cents. Now it's at 22 cents. So I only have to put in like $700 now, and I get the same amount of coins that I got there. So it's all about coin quantity for me. I don't want to keep putting too much money in. However, the cheaper it gets, the less money I got to put in to get more coins. So that's the way I'm paying. It's looking at very near a trend break over there as well. Things like Doge sitting in the pocket at the moment. There we go. So it's kind of at this point, the USDT dominance is saying the same thing. Like, hey, we got to wake up strongly in the next couple hours and let's get going. Things like AVAX looking pretty good. Nice bounce, pretty good strong push to the upside. Things like ICP sitting on support. Things like Gala still fighting the flag. Things like Solana. Everything is just halting here, guys, at the moment. So we'll soon know, is it that 3-4% correction, or do we go straight to Valhalla from here? That's exactly the flow. Now, guys, I want to quickly jump in. How many likes have we got? I want to see the likes. Remember, guys, with the trading competition, I am giving away $100 to 10 people. For anyone that's using my BitGet link and anyone that's in part of my team, okay? I will be doing that tomorrow, though. We have to have the gates closed so I can get all the information so I can choose who's using my link. So I'm going to be looking that you're using my link. I'm going to be looking that you're part of the competition. And again, I'll be giving $100 away. Let's make it 2,000 likes. Let's make it 2,000 likes. 2,000 likes sounds a lot better. Okay, guys, I want to show you something quickly. So the next important thing now is you need to zoom out completely, okay? You need to now understand, and this is specifically when it comes to your altcoin bags and your long-term bags and, you know, your alt season bags and these sort of things. You need to understand that you got these two big daddies, Bitcoin and ETH, okay? And all of your tokens, and I'll show you again here when it comes to the charting here, or the banter bubble, sorry, is if you go here to the right-hand side and you go to your settings, you can actually change your currency, right? You can change it to Bitcoin or Ethereum. So what that basically does for you is it shows you what's outperforming Bitcoin. Okay, so if you look at the last week, not too much has been outperforming Bitcoin too much just yet. Okay, and this is because we're having the temporary, you know, little pump within dominance, retesting the trend, things like that. Okay, we look at the last month. There we go. You get a bit of an idea. Okay, so the whole goal here is to understand that you've got two major tokens that are looking really bullish now. They're getting ETF. They're getting a lot of hype. They're getting a lot of these things. So the question now is what's going to outperform it? So for example, Injective is starting to slowly outperform Bitcoin. Slowly starting to wake up, okay? And I'll show you the Injective to Bitcoin chart now. Things like Render is starting to wake up. You know, things like Blockstacks starting to wake up. Things like AVAX, things like Ethereum, things like Sui. So therefore, if you had to look at all of these bubbles here alone, you would see that any of these tokens here have performed pretty well in the last couple of days because they're outperforming Bitcoin. Okay, and it's the same thing here if you click on the right-hand side here and you go look at something like ETH. This is the interesting one. I want to see what's outperformed ETH in the last while. Not much. Not much at the moment, okay? Now, if you look here, you got DYDX. So I'll be keeping some eyes on DYDX, decentralized exchange. Very important to have some sort of part in your portfolio. Things like Perth, things like Sui, things like Pepe, things like Blockstacks. These are coins that are outperforming Ethereum. Now, one thing I got to explain to you now is probably ETH will probably outperform 90% of altcoins right now. For now, what happens next though is the moment you get that real break from ETH, you are going to trigger a lot of altcoins. Okay, ETH does one thing that why I love ETH more than Bitcoin is because ETH comes in a crew. Bitcoin comes in big man, one man solo, and he drinks by the bar. You know, when ETH walks through the door, he comes with a couple of his mates behind him. You know, a couple of his friends. He comes with his whole group together. That's why I love ETH, because ETH comes as a clan. It comes with all alts together. So what that basically means now is you are about to see a slight performance of ETH outperforming a lot of altcoins. However, when I went to the charts this morning, I saw that a lot of these coins are actually extremely undervalued to ETH. Okay, and I want to show you this over here. A lot of these coins, you know, these stochastic RSIs that I speak about, the weekly ones, the higher time frame ones, they're all getting oversold to ETH. Okay, so it means that ETH will lead the race now for a week or two. Once the ETF is dropped, there will be hype around ETH. However, a few days later, a week or two later, the alts are going to join the party strong. So what you're trying to do here is you're making sure that whatever tokens you are getting into, that you've got a high probability of it outperforming ETH. And you'll get a few major signs. So for example, look at something like Solana, right? Solana, firstly, is holding really strongly. Secondly, stochastic is hitting the bottom. And if it holds this trend, you could see here that there's the major highs, the all-time highs for Sol to Ethereum. Now, what am I doing? I'm comparing two moving assets, okay? Because previously what you do is you go Solana to USDT. One moves, one is stable. Okay, so you sell. Now you're going into two moving assets. And what it basically showing you is when the chart is green, Solana is outperforming Ethereum. When the chart is red, Ethereum is outperforming Solana. Okay, so what that basically means is it means you actually want to get to a point where when this is going up, you want to hold Solana to make Ethereum. Okay, because if you look here, if you started with 1 Ethereum in September last year, just an example, okay, and again, Sheldon, how would I have known to buy it? Trend lines, come on, the normal TA that we do every day. It's the same thing, okay? But if you took 1 ETH and you said, you know what, I'm selling this ETH and I'm buying Solana, okay, then you would have seen a mega push to the upside. Do you know if you then sold your Solana, you would have bought back 3 ETH in that time? Okay, so you would have actually made 3 Ethereum just by holding Solana. Now, a lot of people just focus on, Solana's $180. I don't care about that crap anymore. I care about, is my token outperforming Bitcoin and ETH? Because eventually when I sell at the end of the day, I care about how much ETH and Bitcoin I got. I don't care about how much dollars I got or anything like that. And that's the really big play to come in here. So things like Solana, firstly, it's holding trend here. RSI is resetting. And what's also exciting about it is we've got all-time highs as the next resistance. So if you start to see something like this and this push up over here, not only are you looking at into all-time highs and you're looking at Solana outperform Ethereum by another 100%, I'm also expecting ETH to go to $6,000 to $8,000 in that time. So if you think of this properly, guys, not only would you make more Ethereum here, 3 times more Ethereum, your Ethereum will be 2 times more valuable too. So it's called a double whammy. It's called a double compounding sort of thing. That's exactly what it is. Not only are you making more tokens, you're making more value to that token too. So there's a few things you want to use. You want to go and firstly go see something like Optimism. I think it's crazy if you're not buying some Optimism now. And you don't have to buy it to make dollars. I'm talking about, I think it's crazy if you're not using Optimism to make some Ethereum. Because if you look at this, I love charts like this. I love it where they make the same highs, the same lows, and one fat trend. Okay, it's very similar to this chart actually. And I'll show you this over here quickly. And I've done this before, but I'll show you this here. Here's the Cosmos to ETH. Look what it did for about 2 years. 2 years, the same thing. The same thing, the same bottom, the same low, the same high, same low, same high, same low. So look at that, okay? Now I want to explain something here. Where there's the trend break, 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 okay? Same pattern, same thing. However, if you took 1 ETH, okay, and you sold it and you bought Atom here, all of a sudden, your ETH now would have been worth 2.5 ETH. Then what happens is you would get back into Ethereum. Okay, few weeks later to a month or 2 later, same thing happens. You get the trigger. Take your 2.5 ETH, put them in. All of a sudden, few months later, your 2.5 ETH is now sitting at 5 ETH. Okay, again, same thing happens. You sit in ETH for a while, break again. Now you got your 5 ETH. You look at here, well, to the upside. Okay, now all of a sudden you're looking at 10 to 12 ETH. Okay, cool. All of a sudden, weeks later, you sitting at 25 ETH. Okay, now that's the power. Yet you started with 1 Ethereum. You know, that's the full understanding of what we're doing. So when I see these ones looking beautiful like this, I would be seriously taking, and I'm not talking about go and risk everything. No, I'm saying take a certain percentage. If you like ETH, I would take a certain percentage and buy Optimism right now. And I'd wait for the trend break to buy a little bit more. Because if you look at the current Optimism chart, from the bottom to the top here, it's got an outperformance of 150 to 200% range at the moment. So yes, ETH is going to perform incredibly well. But Optimism is going to call it incredibly strong too. And you know what's crazy as well is you look at Optimism at the bottom to Bitcoin, bottom to ETH, all these sort of things. Remember, if you want to be a confirmation trader, only do it on the trend break. But you see what I'm getting to here? You need to get to a point where your altcoins are going to outperform Ethereum. Here is RUNE in a bull flag on Ethereum. Great breakouts, perfectly on support now. This is where you'll slowly dollar cost. However, when this trend break comes, and you could see, it's saying that ETH will have the little bit of light in the beginning. However, these altcoins are going to join. Now look at this one, Injective to ETH. Look at this fat flag to the downside. I love these flags. I love it when something bleeds like this for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Because the moment it has one fat candle, it literally does something like this in a very short period of time. We've seen this many times. This is something bullish. It's a bullish pattern that's forming here. It's a what's a dropping wedge or whatever it's called. What's a slanted wedge to the downside over here. But look at this, guys. It's saying here as well, hey, slowly accumulate injective, right? But when this thing starts popping through here, be in it. And you could even use injective to make a lot more Ethereum. And if you look at where this next pump over here for injective and that, looking at 100%, you look up to 200% of the range too. Look at things like THETA. THETA is perfectly in the zones now. And look at, if you look at a normal market cycle, I see the full cycle playing out here. I see the euphoria. I see the crazy amounts. And if you go look before that, look how this thing was in a bear market. Look here. But the moment, again, it cracked a very important trend line and pushed through, you saw THETA outperform. So guys, remember, we're not sitting here and saying we're going to hold these tokens for, no. I'm saying that the last cycle, we saw some tokens outperform Ethereum 1,300%. And Ethereum went from $100 to $4,800. Can you even calculate how much money that is? How much percentage that is? That if you had your altcoin go up 4,000, or let's say it was 1,000%, right? Or 2,000%, but then you had another altcoin that outperformed that token by 1,000%. You start to understand the type of money and where you're basically at. So I want to make this aware and make sure you understand these things. And here's the market cycle. It's had its first weekly high here. We are in the retest zone, and I don't need THETA to go to all-time highs. I'm seeing THETA go to the top of this little range over here. And if I look at that, that is 4 times the performance, three times the performance of ETH in that specific time. So guys, why I'm trying to say this again is I know we are excited about ETH, and I think ETH's going to be the major runner. It's going to be fantastic. However, I do need you know what made me a lot more successful was preparing for step 2 while I'm busy with step 1. So right now, our step is focus ETH, right? ETH, your Arbitrums, all of these sort of tokens, but also start preparing what happens after that. What happens after that is right now you're going to get an ETH hype for a while. And then after that, the ETH hype will start to chill and the altcoins will start breaking to Ethereum. And that's when things are truly going to be rocketing. So make sure if your coin looks like crap to ETH and it looks like it's going to come down for the next 4 months, don't hold too much of it. Find coins that are looking strong to the Ethereum pairing, because that's what's going to pump next. Anything that's looking terrible and losing major zones and losing major areas, it's not worth it. So in that sense, you're here to do the best and you're here to fight the best. Okay, fantastic. Let's jump back in and let's go. Okay, so is there any other major ones? So again, the show that I'm doing tomorrow, I'll be doing a lot more of these as well. I wanted to explain the concept to you guys today. Here's something like GRT, also sitting right at the bottom of the range. Remember, guys, you don't have to make any big decisions today. All that I'm saying is be aware that if you look here on GRT, there's its first major high or low there. That's still holding major supports, right? If all of a sudden, in the next while, this thing breaks the wedge to the upside, okay, make sure it's on your radar, because what it's basically saying is, okay, GRT is sitting here, but the moment it pops here, I can pop this thing just to this range here. And again, that's 2-3xing your tokens or whatever it may be. So keep this all in mind and know what you're moving to next, know all these sort of things. And remember, don't complicate it. Keep it very simple. Here's my ETH pairing system. Here is remember, have order in your life, guys. Have order in your life. Here's a Bitcoin pairing. Boom, all my Bitcoin pairing tokens. Oh, 𝗧𝗏. Oh, look at that. Oof, look at that. I love these slow bleeds, guys. Look at 𝗧𝗏 here to Bitcoin. Look when it does that slow bleed to the downside, where basically, what do they call the opposite banana? There, because what you start to do at some point, you start to get that rally through over here. So I'm excited. It's still showing us that we're quite early in the cycle. I don't think we're that late in the cycle yet. I think we actually only just went to phase 2. And I think there's 4 phases in the cycle. So I kind of think that we're about 30 to 40%, 30% in this bull market. I still think we got 70% to go when it comes to a lot of them. Again, any short-term trades, let's quickly have a look. Some trades for you guys and see what's looking hot. I would still focus on any short-term traders. I'd focus on things like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I focus on something like Doge. I focus on something like DOT, on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏X, and ejective. I think these are the main tokens to be focused on today. Even Ethereum. Ethereum might be pretty good as well, are currently the major levels that we are at. Okay, guys, I'm about to shoot my next video. Hold on, let me jump back in over here. I'm going to shoot the next video for tomorrow's show. Please go below the video. Give me all your coins. Give me. Say, LT, I only want high time frame tokens. Okay, high time frame tokens. Do that all for me below the video. Smash the like button, and I love you guys lots. Let me get Safe Travels back. I'll try to do a show this weekend. I'll see how the energies are in flow. But from Monday, I'm back in the offices and I'm rocking strong. So have a fantastic day. Much love to you all, and make money. Much love.